What's up, ladies and gents? Jaxxsin here, and today I want to talk about Phil Spencer and his idea that many reviewer outlets and, reviewers who reviewed Recore, the newest Xbox One exclusive, that, they were just doing that and saying those things to get views. Okay, and I'm gonna read this paraphrased little section on this Neogaf thread, and then I'm gonna have a link to it, but then I'm gonna have a link to a longer story that I actually read. And it's interesting, and I'll have that there too. On the subject of Recore, Spencer went on to say that he wished the game had been received better. Some reviews were a little harsh, he said, and also suggested that some reviewers scored it lower than the average, specifically to increase site traffic. But at the same time, he said the review scores are not necessarily a reflection of the game's importance to Microsoft. Also, the game is selling well, and gamers are receiving it positively. The gamers' response to the game has been positive, which is the most important thing, he said. Okay, here's the problem with fucking everything Phil Spencer just said. Okay, this is the type of speech that encourages fanboyism. All right, if anyone, and this is the thing. I never played Recore. All right, I have watched several reviews on Recore, and, I've heard Jim Sterling mention, that it was sad that it didn't run that well on the system because it was a kind of entertaining, fun game. He just said it wasn't running well, okay? I heard one reviewer who was like, it's fucking crap gamer, I'll just say it, because he's stupid. But he basically was like, well, look at fucking PS, and this is the same sort of speech that Phil Spencer is now encouraging, okay? Because he said, well, look at Bloodborne. It received negative or overwhelmingly positive reviews, and it had shitty load times and things like that on release, technical issues, and he's not wrong. But the difference between Recore and Battleborn, I'm sure, is that Battleborn, when it was running, ran great. There wasn't a whole bunch of breakups in gameplay unless it was you dying as a player. But you could literally go from, if you just wanted to do, one boss after the other, you wouldn't have to see a single fucking load screen. You'd see cutscenes and things like that, but then gameplay, all right? And I think that was the main thing, is it was a lot of load screens for, not that engaging, good gameplay, but not as engaging as, a 10-star game. So people were giving it a 5 or a 6, okay? That's not bad. Those aren't bad reviews. But he's now effectively saying that all of their points are moot, right? None of their points hold any weight because these people were just trying to get views. That literally sounds like something Crap Gamer would fucking say. Alright? And that's a bad way to handle this. Because instead of you, Phil Spencer, as the head of Microsoft, looking at the reviews, taking all of the things that these people are saying into account and learning from it and changing your next game, you've now acquired this whole whole new level of arrogance, where from now on, your games are fine, and also they're not selling well. There's a commenter in here that says they're doing shit in the UK. So this game isn't selling as well as you're saying, but instead of learning from that and figuring out why it isn't selling well, you're going to tell anyone who is giving you the reasons, right? The things that you can then in turn take and learn from and apply to the next project you have, the next exclusive for the Xbox One. Instead of doing that, you're now effectively saying, anyone who says any of our games are bad, they're just doing it to get better, views, more search traffic, things like that, right? Everyone is trying to get views, Phil. Everyone doing this is trying to get views. That doesn't mean what we're saying isn't true. Okay, some of us, believe it or not, speak the truth. If a game deserves a fucking 8, 9 rating, people will give it that. Okay, and that's the thing you need to understand, is maybe 1 in fucking 20 was by some asshole Sony fanboy who was just a dick, who's no better than Crap Gamer. Okay, a shitty Sony fanboy, right? Made a review that was gleeful that the game sucked and was probably overly harsh and of course did it to get views. But that doesn't mean that anyone, any reviewer, anyone who ever said Recore wasn't a fucking 8, 9-star game, that it was a 5, an average, a slightly above average game, to say that all of those people, all of them, giving it negative press and negative, everything for views is arrogant of you, Phil. And it is very unbecoming of someone that I feel needs to step up their game. And instead of adding excuses or fake bullshit like this, how about instead of that, you take the criticism from the reviewers, from all of the people, you say fuck the fanboys, Phil. And don't try to loop everyone in with the fanboys. That's fucking stupid. Okay? You can't do that. I get you. There's some stupid fanboys, I'm sure, on the Sony that were talking a lot of shit on this where it didn't deserve it, right? I get you. But that doesn't mean that anyone who gave this game a bad review is a fanboy who wants to see Xbox fail. Maybe some of these people want to see Xbox succeed, Phil. Maybe they want to see you do better. And this kind of thing, like, that hurts their, hope. This kills their hope because this is something where you're basically saying, I didn't learn anything. The game's doing well. Fans enjoy it. Anyone who says otherwise is just trying to get traffic. Unbecoming, Phil. Anyway, guys, that's it for me, Jaxxsin. I'm out of here. And, I would play Recore. I would redbox it. I've heard the gameplay's fun. But, I've heard that it was a technical mess. And, there were a lot of day one issues, so... And they have to take that into account. That's important. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for listening. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll chat at you next time.